What's going on, beautiful people of YouTube? This is Renebean, and welcome to another episode of Live Video Game Hunting, the series I started up so I can take you guys along with me and show you these awesome finds through yard sales, garage sales, flea markets. I go to thrift stores like Goodwill and Salvation Army, and I use apps like LetGo, OfferUp, Craigslist, Facebook, really whatever I can use to get my hands on awesome games at excellent prices. Make sure you stick through to the end of the video, because not only do we go over everything on a one-on-one level, as well as anything you didn't get to see on camera, but I also announce the winner to the weekly contest giveaway. If you want to be entered, the rules are super simple. Obviously, be subscribed to this channel, hit that like button, and leave a comment down below. Hopefully something positive. If you want a little extra credit, share these videos so other people can see these awesome finds and learn how to beef up their own collections. Links to everything in the description below. You got my Mercari account, my eBay store, Twitch account, P.O. Box information, and most importantly, Instagram. If you ever had any questions or want to see some of this stuff sorted early, Instagram. I'll always try to pin it to the top comments so you have multiple links. My hands are going crazy, but I'm excited, guys, because the season is upon us. I got a whole ton of stuff to go through, so I want you to sit back and relax. Let's check it out. Alright everybody, welcome back. I hope everybody has had awesome luck here lately. I am so excited the season is starting up on my side of the globe, and I'm lucky enough to find Goodwill slipping here because there were some original Xbox games that were on the shelf and they weren't individually priced by the person who likes to put them behind glass. And check it out, we get a Star Wars Battlefront 2 for $5. That is an excellent pickup. Always be on the lookout for your Battlefront games, especially for the original Xbox. It was in good condition, $5. Excellent steal right there. And as I was looking through the other games here, I come across Star Wars Battlefront 1. It also was $5. Not the greatest deal, but combined as a set, it was an excellent pickup right here. And that's why I always tell you guys out there, no matter what thrift store you go to, Goodwill, Salvation Army, if they like to put games behind glass, individually price them, go to your DVD section, VHS, CD, whatever it may be, and look through it. It can be tedious and kind of a pain in the ass thing to do, but it's about the only time you'll catch them slipping if they like to individually price games. Employees will just stick them on the shelf not knowing any better, and that's the time to come in and scoop them up. So this pickup right here is through the eyes of Miss Renebean. I was tied up and I had to go meet up with this guy who posted this ad on Craigslist. Now I'm sure like a lot of you out there, you got people going around to Best Buys and Targets, buying the store out and then trying to turn around on Craigslist or eBay and flip these things for $100 to $120. This is a Super Nintendo classic and I needed it for my collection. The best part is I only paid $50. And let me tell you guys, this thing was in immaculate shape. The box was perfect, the controllers, the console, not a scratch on them, and it even came with the extension cables for the controllers themselves. Since I've had this thing, I've been playing the absolute hell out of it. It looks gorgeous on a HD TV, and don't worry guys, if you don't have one of these, Nintendo actually is making a whole bunch more, and then I've heard that they are making the NES Classic again. It's going to be re-released, which is a good thing, because a lot of people did not get their hands on this thing, and now finally, I got the SNES Classic. I still need the NES Classic, and I'm sure when the N64 Classic comes, it's going to be hard to get, but if Nintendo does want to do the right thing, they'll start making a whole bunch of these things and stop making them obsolete and making this inflated price that people are willing to pay. And that's why I never was able to find an NES Classic, because I'm not going to pay the inflated price that you see. You know, until there are people in this world that are not willing to pay an inflated price, you're not going to stop seeing people who are trying to buy these things out and sell them at a higher cost. It's a double-edged sword. It sucks. It's not good for the person who actually wants to play this or collect it. But at the same time, they're part of the problem because they're the ones who are paying this price for the most part, simply for the fact that they don't have an option. If they want one of these in their hands, they're going to have to pay that price or be patient, and hopefully one comes along like it did here for me. So here's a quick pickup at the flea market. I had a buddy of mine flag me down and he says, "Hey, I got Mario Kart for the Wii. Are you interested?" He said $8. As I was looking at the disc, there was actually a little bit of a hole, kind of like a scratch around the inner ring that I was able to hold it up to the light and see the light through, which I told him, I was like, man, there's a chance this thing will not work, but since he's a cool dude, I did give him $5 for it. Hopefully it does. I haven't tested it out yet. It'll be, I'm sure, on one of my episodes of the vlog series, but for $5 for a potentially working Mario Kart, I was pretty happy about this pickup. So whenever you're checking your actual disc in games, always hold it up to the light to see if you see any light coming through, especially with older games, PlayStation 1, Saturn, because it's a, an indication of disc rot. With this one, I saw the scratch on the front. I just wanted to see if the light shined through, and it did, so hopefully it will work. We're going to have to find out. So what you're about to see here is my favorite pickup of the week for one of two reasons. Number one, it was an excellent haul. Number two, this was literally the first garage sale I went to this season. They listed that they had some antique collectible Barbie stuff, which my wife is real big into because it's great resale. I wasn't expecting games. As I was walking up on there looking for this Barbie stuff, I see a Sega CD sitting just randomly in this box. I had to investigate. Not only was there that Sega CD, there was a Sega Genesis, a Sega Saturn, a Nintendo 64. It was an absolute glorious sight to see. Now you got to ask yourself, if you have all these consoles, where are the games? So I asked her, I said, where did you get these games from? She said, well, that shed back there. And I pleaded with her as best as I could. I was like, would it be okay if I come in there and look around? Some people are very particular about that sort of thing. They don't want you going around digging in their stuff, but she was very nice and she let me do it. Now, before we actually came in here to look for games, I asked her, I was like, how much do you want for all these consoles? She said $20 right away. I was hooked on that price. I wasn't going to, try to go down on that. It was a great deal as it was. Remember, people, your phone has a flashlight on there. If you ever get in this situation, typically if your phone doesn't come equipped with one, you can download one in the App Store. Now, there is nothing more exciting than the actual hunt of video games. In a situation like this, I am at my complete heightened senses. I am looking for anything that could be remotely related to video games, and she was so nice about it. She was digging through everything. She was finding things she didn't know she had that she could put out on her yard sale, and I'm sitting here joking with her. I'm like, now this price is just going to have to be ridiculously cheap by the end of this because I'm making you money. But I'm just saying these things to make her laugh, to make her comfortable, that because you got to keep in mind, she's letting me look around in her shed at stuff that is not listed. Now, I cut a lot of footage out, but I was in this shed for a good 10 to 15 minutes, desperately hunting for these games. Because keep in mind, there were consoles like Sega CD and Sega Saturn. I was really hoping there were going to be some Saturn games because I rarely find anything Sega stuff on my side of the world. And in this orange box right here, had some games in it. Oh my God, I was so excited because I found them. I mean, typically whenever you do something like this and you go looking in a shed, I don't have the greatest luck. I don't always come out with a box of games, but I did this time and I was so excited about it. And see, people, that's the key. Like I always say it in my series, and I'm sure a lot of you get tired of hearing it, but if you are a dickhead at yard sales or garage sales, whatever it may be, do you think people are going to let you root around in their shed or garage or attic or whatever it may be? Go in there with a smile on your face, make people laugh, and I'm telling you, you never know what the outcome might be. So this was definitely a special box to go through because there's 3 or 4 games that I get to add to my collection, and that's always a great thing. We got Mortal Kombat for the Sega Genesis. I already had it, so that's going to be one to get rid of. But we do come across Super Baseball right here, 2020. That's going to be one that gets added to the collection. There's a copy of Sonic the Hedgehog 2, which is a great bundler game, as well as Tasmania, which I already had. Now, these things had a little bit of an old smell to them, which I would have expected being held up into the shed so long, but they all were in good condition. If you saw it there, that was a copy of Sub-Zero Mythologies for the N64. I've been needing that for my collection for the longest time, and now I have it. Like I say, there is nothing better than adding games to your collection. There was even some 32X games in here. Everything was just working out in my favor for the first yard sale of the season. Anytime I find any Sega out in the wild, it is an absolute delight because, like I said, I just never have that much luck on this side of the world with it. And you see me pull out Doom for the 32X, and then earlier I pulled out Virtual Racing Deluxe, which is one that I didn't have. Now, what makes me think that there was some games that I did not find in that shed is there was no Sega Saturn games. There was the console, but not one single game. There was a few Sega CD games like Virtual Cop and NBA Jam, which was in the console itself. So luckily, she let me go back in here for a second look, and my luck wasn't as great as the first time, but I did manage to find a few games that were not in that first box. Digging through this final tote box, I don't find anything special. I only come across two more Sega Genesis games. The first one being John Madden right here. You know, this is your standard football game, 93. That one gave me hope that there were more games in here, and I was able to at least find one more. Now, if you're wondering why I'm not just digging through this stuff going crazy, it's because I'm trying to be respectful. I've seen videos where people just have no respect for other people's things, and they're just ripping through things, throwing things around. Don't do that. You are a guest in this person's, well, shed in this, situation, and I'm just trying to be as kind as I can about it. This is their things. Specifically, it was her son's stuff, and I didn't want her to see that I'm being stupid about it. So there's the second game right there, which was triple score, 3 games in one. It's got hang on, soccer, and columns on there, but it was another game, and I was able to add it to the box that you saw previously. So now you're probably wondering, what did I pay for everything? Well, with a quick recap, we got the Sega Genesis that had the Sega CD add-on. There was a Sega Saturn. There was an N64. There was a PlayStation 1 Slim. She wanted $20 for all those consoles. That's a great deal right there. So now, with those consoles and these games, I guess she held the games at a little bit higher value, but I paid $50 for everything. That was a great pickup. The price was absolutely perfect. And what made it so special is this literally was the first yard sale that I went to this season. I didn't go to one single garage sale this year until now, and this gives me a tremendous amount of hope for this season. We are going to get some absolute glorious finds this year. I can't wait. Now, it got to a point whenever we were hunting in this shed that the husband kind of yelled for the wife to say, hey, we got people out here needing help. And that's kind of when we cut this search short, which, it sucks because I was more than willing to stay there the rest of the day and just dig through stuff if I could. But again, I'm being respectful. I was completely grateful that they let me at least look this much, and I was able to get some awesome finds out of it. So here I am at a complete 100% hole-in-the-wall thrift store that was like on these side roads out in the boondocks, and I decided to stop. I mean, hell, why not? You never know what you're going to find, and this place was absolutely cluttered, I'm telling you. It is a picker's dream, and actually, after I, show you this find right here, I went around this store, me and Miss Renebean, and we got some awesome pickups, not just game-related. So as I walked in, I was overwhelmed. I didn't really know where to look first, but luckily I saw that they had the, DVDs and the CDs kind of up front. I didn't see any video games right off the bat, and actually I didn't even see an employee until I, turned around and looked around, and I saw this little old lady, and she was so nice and very friendly. And I went up to her and I asked her, I said, do you have any video games? And of course, she didn't even know what the hell I was talking about. She points directly at the VHS movies. Of course, that's the old lady comeback to the question of, do you have video games? Sometimes they might say, well, there's this big box of stuff in the garage that they know exactly what you're talking about. 99% of the time, they think you're talking about VHS movies. So I humor her. I go and I look through these drawers thinking, who knows, there might be something here. So while looking around, I see the white outline of what I thought was a Wii game, and turns out it was. It was NASCAR 2011, the game. I was completely shocked to find any games in this place, and there was also another PlayStation 1 NASCAR game inside of it. I was completely blown away the fact that I found anything here. The disc was decent, and I only paid $1 for it. I wasn't going to pick it up, but I did pull out my phone, checked out my the app that I always use, Video Game Price Search, to see if it was worth anything. And it was like about a $10, $12 game, and it's one that I didn't have for my collection. So for $1 at a hole-in-the-wall thrift store in, complete backwoods of North Carolina, I was pretty happy about picking it up. So here's a pawn shop you have rarely seen in any of my videos. I just never have that much luck here. But I was on this side of the town, so I decided to stop in because it's been many months since I actually have. And they had some stuff that I didn't see before, so I was able to go through and find a few games, one of which I didn't have for my collection, and one game that I always tell you guys to pick out. So here we are. You see that they got everything on the shelf right here. You got a guy over here looking at a PlayStation 3. I wasn't interested in anything of that. I wanted to check out the games. digging through here, I was able to find, a bunch of mediocre stuff. It's usually individually priced, but nothing exceeds $5 in this bin right here. Always at a pawn shop, look for something that's not priced, because a lot of times they're not going to know a price off the top of their head, and they don't want to say something too high because you're always going to rebuttal with something a whole lot cheaper. So the first game you see me pick up right here is Top Gear RPM Tuning. It's one that I didn't have for the original Xbox. Right behind it is a copy of Wii Sports. Neither one of these had a price tag on them. So these are the only two that I actually ended up picking up, one of which I didn't have for my collection. The other one I'll bundle with a Wii or resell separately. And since they didn't have a price tag on them, I went up to the lady and I said, how much for these two right here? She just looked at me and she said $1.50 a piece. That's an excellent steal right there. Of course, I picked them up $3. Wii Sports alone is going to be worth somewhere between $7 and $10. And to add one game to my collection, especially a collection that is very hard for me to add any games to, I was very happy about it. So here we are with the actual last live pickup you'll see for the week. There was a handful of other pickups you'll see in the end that was not on camera. This is just happens to be the last one that I was able to film. This is a buddy of mine at the flea market. It was pretty cool to talk to him again because, like I said, I haven't seen a lot of these people for a few months, and he always works really good deals with me. He's a cool dude. He's a reseller there. I try to keep an eye out for him. He keeps an eye out for me. He knows I'm into games, and he's into a bunch of CDs and I think movies, if I'm not mistaken. But right away you see believe it or not, it's a Japanese import Game Boy Pocket Yellow, and then he had some Famicom games. This is stuff you just don't typically see at a flea market or yard sale. So the first Famicom game here is Scoon. It is released on the North American versions as well for the NES. It is expensive. It's like a $70 or $80 game. And to pick it up here, I'm happy about doing that too because I'll be able to play it. It's the real thing. It's just not, an NTSC US version of the game, which is fine. There was a handful of Famicom games that were all in really good condition here, and I actually ended up grabbing every single one you see outside of the N64 and then the few import Game Boy games. But he did throw in Tetris, which I am a huge fan of Tetris. A lot of people know that, and Tetris is such an addicting little game. You can play it anywhere. He threw that in there for the Game Boy Pocket, and then I picked up all the Famicom games you see right here, and I only paid $25 for it. It was a great deal. He was asking $5 a piece for some of these Famicom games, and that's actually a really good deal. A lot of them are $10, $20 games if you was to order them on eBay, and he gave me a great deal. $25 for the Game Boy, and then the 6 Famicom games you see right here. I was happy about it. It was a good way to end the week. And I'm very grateful of this guy. Like I said, I always make it a point to stop and talk to all the vendors. A lot of them are very friendly, awesome people, and some of them can be dicks. He just happens to be a cool one. And I think he originally wanted 15 for the Game Boy. He let me have it for 10. He wanted 5 a piece for all the Famicom games. And like I said, I paid $25 for everything. He would have wanted $45 for what I got for $25. So he was very awesome for letting me get a deal like that, and I couldn't be, more grateful to him. Alright guys, so I hope you enjoyed all that awesome live footage. Just like always, we're going to go through all this stuff individually. If I can remember anything about it, I'll tell you. If not, we're just going to kind of zoom through it because it's never in any real particular order because it always gets scattered around. First off, you didn't see this on camera, I don't believe. I paid $1 for this. Tell me if this is not freaking awesome. It's just a pillow, but it was $1, man. This is going into the game room. This is going to go behind my big-ass head just like that. $1. You can't hate that. That was an excellent deal right there. I got that at a thrift store where I got the NASCAR game for the Wii, but I just didn't have the camera on when I found that pillow because I was walking around. Because keep in mind, I look for everything, not just games. What else do we got? I picked this stuff up today at the flea market. I paid $25 for everything you're going to see here, and it's some really good stuff. So I got Famicom games, and then what was really cool is I got this Famicom Game Boy, this Japanese import Game Boy Pocket right here, and he threw in Tetris right here, which I love Tetris. That has some pretty cool cover art right there. So this is going into my Game Boy collection, which I've never had an import Game Boy. The screen is big. I don't know if that's just normal or if I'm just kind of weird right now. And then the Famicom games. We actually got some pretty damn good titles here. This is Scoon for the Famicom. Keep in mind, Scoon's like a rare NES game. It's like an $80, $90 game. This is only like $20, if you buy it, like through eBay. But if you want to play a rare NES game without paying that, crazy price, go into Famicom style. Retrons will play them, so that's awesome. So got that Scoon, which is very cool. Here's another good one. Lost World, very awesome. Some of these I am not familiar with, so maybe you guys can help me out and tell me what they are. Like this one, for example. Not a freaking clue, but it is made by Hudson Soft. Very awesome. This is a cool one right here. Warp Man. Very awesome. And then another one that I am not familiar with. It looks like some dude and like has his ball sack in the middle of that title. I don't understand what's going on. I don't know what's going on with that Bandai though. And this is one I'm very curious about because I don't know what it is. It's made by Konami. I'm going to have to plug that into the Retron and see what we got. But check that out. Paid $25 for all that. Hooked me up with a great deal. He wanted like $5 a piece for those Famicom games, which isn't bad considering, you know, they're like, you know, $10, $20 games. But I got a better deal than that for everything. So, very awesome. Thank you for that. This is something you did not see on camera right here. Immediately after seeing that guy at the flea market, walking down there, I guess sometimes I use the pivot head Durango glasses. Everybody asks, you know, what type of spy glasses to use. They're great. They're pricey. You'd expect them to do a good job, but sometimes they do fuck up, and sometimes they just simply won't record, which has been the case a few times. This being one of them. So for $19, I got all these games right here. Nothing crazy, but there's a few that I get to add to my collection, and I can flip the rest. It doesn't cost me anything. Might even make like $5 on top of it. So we got Reckless, what is that? The Yakuza missions for the GameCube. We got a Wii Play, which I'll always bundle. We got a Wheel of Fortune, which I probably have. Here's one that I didn't have. I'm going to keep for the collection, which is Big Beach Sports. Very cool. And then we got more games. Like I said, I only paid $19 for all these. Medal of Honor Frontline. The Medal of Honor series used to be really awesome. I don't know what happened to them. Alright. Need for Speed Hot Pursuit 2, also for GameCube. Mario Golf Toadstool Tour, which is not a bad game. Mortal Kombat Deadly Alliance. No case in manual. That's okay. Day of Reckoning. Very cool. True Crime Streets of LA. And then one, excuse me, that I didn't think I have. Sonic Mega Collection. So, pretty good deal for $19. I'll take that any day. Like, I could tell the stuff was picked through, maybe, but at the same time, I paid $19 for all that. He was all like, he wanted $5 a piece, but I wouldn't pay $5 for any of that. But he was also like, "Oh, take them all for 20." No, he said 25, and I was all like, "Well, how about 20?" And he said on 20. I looked in my wallet and only had $19. I was like, "Man, if you want me to take them, I will," but I only got $19. So this was going to be my favorite pickup of the week, but then the yard sale came, and that turned out to be the favorite. So a guy posted, it was immediately, like, I can't remember if it was Craigslist or Facebook. I think it was Craigslist. If it had been Facebook, it probably would have been gone sooner. He said he had a Super NES Mini for $50 with the extension cables. I was like, okay, let me look at the picture and see if it's just a console or something. I need one of these. I'm not going to pay some inflated $100, $120 price you see all over the place. It was mint. The box looked great. This is it right here, guys. I paid $50 for this. It's used, okay. Doesn't bother me at all. The box is absolutely perfect. 100% legit. It's not fake. And it has the extension cables. I've been playing the hell out of this thing. It looks absolutely gorgeous on the big screen TV. All I need now is a real NES Classic, and I will have, so far, the set until the 64 comes out. But that was a very honest person who, he could have probably put $80 to $100, and some fool would have bought it. $50 is a very good price. I was happy to pick that up to add to my collection, so that was very awesome. Oh, this was Goodwill right here. Caught them slipping because they didn't go through the hands of the little bastard that likes to individually price shit. And they just had some original Xbox games. And always pick these up, guys. If you see these games, pick them up. Don't pay more than $5 unless it's the second one you'll see. But we got Star Wars Battlefront. Star Wars Battlefront 2 together. That's $30, $40. Maybe more if you want to go the Amazon route. I picked those up strictly for flip. These are both complete. I'll be able to put some more money into my game funds, man, which is what it's all about, to build this beautiful collection without costing me a dime. While I was at the flea market, a guy that I've always known, I asked him if he had anything. He says, I got a game, I can't find it. He thought someone stole it, which does happen. You gotta be careful with games. Little thieving little bastards like to steal shit. He didn't find it, so I left, and me and Miss Renebean were walking to the vehicle, and he flags me now. He's like, "Hey, I found it. It's Mario Kart 8. Complete. And I asked him how much he wanted. He said $8, which is a good deal. I could still, I could still make a little bit off that. But it has this little notch right here that you can see through when I hold it up to the light. I told him, I was like, that very well could potentially make this disc, defective. I told him that I'll give you $5 for it, because that the disc for some whatever reason does not work. I got the case and I might be able to get $5 back, but $5 if it is working, it's an excellent deal for Mario Kart. Sells all day for $20. Holy shit, I love this stuff, man. All right, so I went to a pawn shop. You don't normally see a lot in my pickups. They never really have anything. But I found 2 games. One I did not have, which is Top Gear RPM tuning for the original Xbox. I love collecting my original Xbox games. And a copy of Wii Sports. They didn't have price tags on them. I asked them how much they wanted. They said $1.50. It's a no-brainer. I want to pick them up. Wii Sports obviously will be bundled or sold with later. Never ignore your Wii Sports or your Wii Sports Resorts. Always pick them up. Oh, I guess we're going to get to the big sale. The one that I'm super excited about, because I don't think there's anything else that I'm missing. So, as you saw in the video, the very first garage sale that I go to this season, because I haven't been all year. I haven't been to a single garage sale this year. I saw that they were listing that they had like antique Barbie collectible stuff, which Miss Renebean's big into. It's great resale stuff. So we went strictly for that. And as I'm walking up to it looking for this Barbie stuff, I see a freaking Sega CD sticking out of a box. And I'm like, okay, that's unexpected. I'll go investigate that. And as I'm digging through the Sega CD, I see a Sega Saturn. And then I see a Nintendo 64. And I'm all like, well, this just turned very awesome. Because this was my first garage sale. I was not even expecting games, man. This stuff is dirty. Keep in mind, it's going to take some cleaning. We're going to have to do some testing. The damn Sega CD had some sort of gunk in there. I had to take some of it out. It did have a copy of NBA Jam in there. I don't know what kind of shit got all over this. We're going to have to clean the hell out of it, though. I hope it worked. And there was also a spare copy of Virtual Cop 2. And then I found a PlayStation 1 there and the N64. So I asked her, how much did she want for the Sega Saturn, the Sega CD, Genesis, 64, PlayStation 1? $20. Okay, you already sold me on that. There's no expansion in here. But I know I got someone that is wanting a N64 for like a trade, for a big trade, hopefully. So hopefully that'll come through. I got to test that, make sure all that's working. And then, like, you got to keep in mind, if you find all this stuff, there's consoles in a box. Where are the games? So I asked her, I was like, can you even fathom where these games might be? She had no idea. I had to kind of keep pestering her. And I said, well, where'd you get these games, or these consoles? She says, I got them out of that shed. I was like, will it be okay if I go in and look in the shed, see if we can find some games? She let me, guys. Always be nice, be kind and courteous. You never know what they'll let you do. So she let me go into her shed and dig around. And guess what, guys? I found a box of games. It wasn't the Sega Saturn games that I was desperately looking for, but I got some good titles here, guys. So for $50 is what this whole price tag came out to be, because I kind of started to get the suspicion that she caught on to, like, this stuff is, I ain't gonna say valuable to her mindset, but it's something that I'm gonna be paying for, so she kind of upped the price. So $50 already. The console's way worth that. So let's see what games we got. God, I desperately wanted some Sega Saturn games. Let me find that Panzer Dragoon Saga or Snatcher or something for Sega CD. Oh my god. So anyways, the games that I pulled out of that bucket. We got Street Fighter 2 Special Edition, which will be up for sale. One of you guys can grab it. Sonic the Hedgehog 2, which I usually bundle. NHL 94, which everybody keeps telling me that's a great hockey game. Ace Combat 4 Shattered Skies. Sega Classics Pat Riley Basketball. I don't see that getting a lot of action on my end. Mortal Kombat Shows the Blood, Let 'em Know. This is a cool one for me to add to my collection. Super Baseball 2020. Before we go over the rest of these games, before I forget, let me announce the winner to the weekly contest giveaway, because I always forget. Like, I get so caught up in these games and I love them that sometimes I always wait till the end. So before we go over the rest of these games, the winner to the contest giveaway. Hopefully I'm going to pronounce this correctly. Pronunciation's never my strong suit. Owen Beatty. Beatty. You are the winner. You got $20 store credit to my eBay store. See a game for 20 bucks, get it for free. See one for 30, you get it for 20. And it goes for anything. I sell everything, guys. I don't just sell video games, so you can use that credit towards that. You got to message me on Instagram. If you don't have an account, make one just to message me. Do not message me on eBay. eBay's real strict about their little messaging shit. But message me. You got that $20 store credit. Some of this stuff's going to be up there. Alright, guys. Remember to, if you didn't win, obviously, be subscribed, hit the like button, leave a comment down below. What else do we got in this box of wonderfulness here? We got Tasmania right there, which I have, but this, God almighty, this thing, that label, Genesis labels just always stand the test of time from what I've seen. They always look so good, and the manual's complete ass, and it smells like 20 shades of old. Oh yeah, it's good. Oh, it's horrible. It's a horrible smell. Oh Lord, it's just that old attic-y shed, like bin left out, you know, just never even seen the light of day. 007 Tomorrow Never Dies for PlayStation, I think. Yeah, PlayStation. Nothing special. This was just in there. Rainbow Six 3 Raven Shield for the computer. Nothing hidden. That's okay. I don't know if it'll sell for anything. This is one I get to add to the collection, which is Triple Score. 3 games in 1. It has Hang On, Soccer, and Columns. Very cool. Alright, let's get into some of the juicier stuff. WrestleMania 2000, which is a cult classic. Everybody's got to have their WrestleMania. Gex 64, which may or may not be a level, or not a level upgrade, a label upgrade. This is one that I get to add to the collection. Very excited for. Mortal Kombat, the Sub-Zero is that the Mythologies? Yes. Very cool. Very happy to add that to the collection because it's getting hard for me to add any N64 games to the collection. And another copy of WrestleMania 2000. For whatever reason, I don't know. Maybe one doesn't work. Of course, we will have to test it. Oh, this is not great. John Madden Football 93. Nothing to say about that. And this is cool. There was 32X games in there. We got Doom for the 32X, which will be up for sale for you guys. And one that I get to keep, I'm very happy about, which is Virtual Racing Deluxe. Very awesome. I did not, my 32X collection, as you can see, is shit. I don't have many games. There's only, what, like 30 or 40 for it. So I get them. Oh my God, it's disgusting in there. It's got that old smell. Oh, I'm going to end up getting high on the past. That's it right there, guys. Oh, this is a great week. This shows me that the season is going to be on fire this year. I can't wait. I'm going to have... Oh, I almost spoiled something so bad, but you'll have to see it on the eBay Macari Game Deals unboxing next. You're going to be in for a treat with that one. But this season is going to be great. I'm going to be getting you some awesome footage. We're going to most likely be having videos every week like we did. And you know what, guys? Maybe we might have like a teaser video in between, because if like to have like a video that's more than 30 minutes long, it takes a shit ton of editing. So I might kind of break it up a little bit. We'll see how it goes. I don't know. Like, I'm just excited for this damn season to begin. I hope a lot of you are too, because keep in mind, where I live, the season's really only from about the end of February to like the end of October, November, around that time frame. Otherwise, it gets too damn cold. No one wants to do anything, so you got to resort to like the Craigslist, the Facebook, all that. So it's kicking off. So yard sales will be listed. I'm super excited. We're going to be starting to get some awesome finds. I can't wait, man. So anyways, guys, I hope you all take care and enjoy the rest of your day.